to get this started. There we go. That should do it. Okay. All right. Starting, well, we're just gonna, that's all I want to talk about today. I'm pooped. I don't really want to study right now, but I've got to. So, talking about immunology, this is a talk about neonatal, well, we're starting off talking about neonatal immunity and passive transfer. So, when animals are just born, they don't really have, they don't have a good immune system, or at least most don't. They're susceptible to infection. Their immune system's immature. But a lot of large domestic mammals are considered immunocompetent at birth, which means they're okay, like they can survive. But neonatal immune function, it can take a while before it develops into what it does as an adult. Passive transfer, it's either through the placenta or through colostrum, which it just depends on the type of placentation. The highest absorption of maternal antibodies happens within the first moments of life, first hours. In calves and foals, they can't really absorb colostrum past 24 hours, but pups and kittens, it can be 48 to 72 hours. Mostly it's going to be IgG being transferred, some IgA and IgM, mostly IgG though, that is being transferred in this passive transfer, whether it be by colostrum or via the placenta. The transfer is facilitated by low proteolytic enzyme activity and colostrum enzyme inhibitors. I don't know what all that means. And the transient expression of neonatal FC receptors on enterocytes aids transfer. Okay. If passive transfer fails, then the neonate suffers. Yeah. Because they don't have that immunity. They don't have an immune system, basically, after that. Not a good sign. There's ways to detect if an animal has had or has adequate antibodies, like radial immunodiffusion. That's the gold standard. Calves retain passive immunity for approximately 5 to 6 months, up to 9 months. Foals retain it for 3 to 4 months, up to 6 months. And then puppies and kittens maintain it for 3 to 4 months, but up to 26 weeks when we're talking about parvo. There's something called a window of susceptibility. talking about the effectiveness of vaccination. Basically, your body needs to mount a response that's good enough. Am I in the National Guard? Nope, I am not. I just wanted a little bit shorter hair, so I got a haircut. I didn't, well, my brother gave it to me as well, so we're giving each other haircuts right now to save some money. But, yeah. I'm in vet school right now, but not in the National Guard. Good question. Hello, Alessio. Talking about bovine viral diarrhea virus and neonatal tolerance. So BVDV is an example. You thought I was a commissioned officer? No, that'd be cool though. My grandpa was an officer. He left the military as a major in the Army. So that was cool. So BVDV is highly contagious. It's a significant economic problem with cattle. Can cause immune suppression, reproductive issues, respiratory symptoms, digestive issues, or weak and persistently infected calves. Not a good sign. Many strains, there's a non-cytopathic and a cytopathic strain. Very, I don't know, this is, you don't want this BVDV if you're a calf. That's for sure. PI means persistently infected animals, and they're born viremic, which means they're continually shedding the virus and they're persistently infected. And so they serve as an important reservoir of BVDV in the herd, which is not a good thing. It sounds like a good thing the way it's said here, but it's not. At least in my opinion. I mean, think about it. If you've got one calf that's full of disease and constantly full of disease, and you've got a bunch of other calves around it all the time, they're going to be constantly dealing with the disease. But they are going to build up a tolerance, so maybe it is a good thing. Because then all of your calves will be resistant to BVDV. But that one is just a reservoir of constant sickness. What's behind cannulated cows' fistulas? They freak me out. Like, why? Let me look that up. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. So, those are, hey Eurus, hey Arnold. Cannulated cows are there if a cow or any kind of cattle, doesn't have to be female, loses their intestinal, no, sorry, not their intestinal, but their ruminal microbiota. So if something happens, whether they're fed a very high starch, or I say you feed a cow a bunch of donuts and their intestinal microbiota shifts from high forage or roughage digestion and low refined carbohydrate and starch digestion to high refined carbohydrate and starch digestion and low roughage digestion, Well, their ruminal microbiota is going to completely change, and so what's got to happen is their microbiota is completely wiped out. All those microbes are killed, and that's not good. It's either a result of an accident or an unintended consequence of an experiment, or they just pushed it a little too far. But those cows, they grab microbes from that cow and put it into another cow. To answer your question, a rising fire. So it's a microbe reservoir, because they're all eating the same things, those cows, or they should be, and so it's a microbe reservoir. If you run out in one cow, because if you run out in one cow, if they're all killed, there's no way to get them back unless you donate. They don't just spontaneously arise. They either have to be there and to reproduce asexually, like microbes do, or you have to take them from a healthy cow and put them in a cow that does not have them. Why did I choose to be a veterinarian? Good question. My dad has a hospital. I've worked at his hospital a bit, and I liked it. I like working with him. And God also told me, not audibly, but I prayed one day. I was like, God, what should I do with my life? And one day in church, 3 different people came up to me and talked to me at the end of the service while everyone was praying, and they were all 3 words that everyone spoke or spake were confirmations. So it was really, really cool. But yeah, it's a little bit more detailed, but I don't know. Maybe I'll share more details later if I feel like it. I'd have to sit and remember a lot of it. And it's a lot of kind of just personal stuff. But yeah, mainly my dad inspired me. And then about during my last year of high school, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do, I think. Hello, Eurus. Hello. How you doing? Moving back to this. Mucosal disease, or MD, is a highly fatal, uncommon form of BVB occurring in persistently infected cattle. Whenever the persistently infected cattle are super infected with a cytopathic BVB strain is when this happens. My memoir. Yeah, I will. If I remember to write a memoir. That'd be cool. I just probably need to get started on it if I'm going to. Because if I keep waiting, eventually I'll be dead, and then I forgot to write my memoir, you know? Okay, viruses mainly are going to have an interferon response. They interfere with viral replication or something like that. They downregulate. Oh, this is how viruses evade that. They downregulate MHC, and they use antigenic variation. Bacteria. Bacteria are extracellular Sorry. Okay. Bacteria, the host is going to have extracellular responses. That could be macrophages, antitoxin, neutralizing antibodies, other antibodies. There's many ways. If you get a foreign bacteria inside of you, there's many ways that your body will respond, or an animal's body will respond. But bacteria evade this as well. They've got something called blocking phagocytosis. They kill phagocytic cells. They prevent intracellular destruction. They resist antibacterial proteins. They interfere with signaling. They use adaptive evasion, which is where one of the ways they do that is by altering surface coat antigens. And they can also destroy antibodies and cytokines with proteases. Protozoa, there's Th1 and Th2, intracellular, intracellular protozoa are affected by Th1 responses, and extracellular are affected by Th2 responses. Protozoa can hide within cells. They can also use antigenic variation. They can also use antigenic masking, that's where they coat themselves in host antigens to hide from the body, or from the body of the host. Not a good thing. And they can use immunosuppression, also not a good thing. Helminth parasites, these are worms of a certain type. Not all worms are helminths. But these are affected by Th2. Eosinophils, mostly eosinophils. How's school coming along? Not bad, not bad. It's coming. I've got only A's and B's so far. Mostly A's, thankfully. 2 B's, one in physiology and histology, and the other in anatomy. So it's going okay. I've got 2 more quizzes this week and another exam this week. Took an exam yesterday. Did pretty all right on it, I felt. That was the 3rd exam out of 4. So only 1 left. I'm looking forward to getting done, that's for sure. It is busy. I like the learning, and I like what I'm learning. I just don't like the homework, and there's not much homework. Certainly not as much as there was in undergrad, but I don't like all the studying. I'd rather do stuff I want to do, But I do want to learn, so it's okay. It's not bad. It's just something I gotta do, I guess. But it's going good. Overall, going all right. Thanks for asking. When helminth parasites are inside a host, they can evade immunity by using physical barriers like a thick outer cuticle, which is their skin, if you will. Or they can use immunomodulation, which is they basically interfere with host antigen presentation. They change something about the immune system, I think. Arthropods, finally, this is the last type, rely These arthropods are affected mostly by Th2, and they cause type 1 and type 4 hypersensitivities a lot. Flea bite allergy, flea bite allergy is one of the most common type 4 hypersensitivities, I think. It might be type 1 and type 4, I can't remember. Anyway. But whenever there are eosinophils present, that's very indicative of parasitic infection. Usually it's due to parasites. The one way arthropods evade the immune system is they secrete salivary immunomodulators at the attachment site to suppress host immune responses. All right. Well, that's it for today. I'm already exhausted. Honestly, I just want to rest, and so I didn't want to do too long of a stream today. It's hard. Think about it. It's so weird. Like, streaming is not physically challenging at all, right? I'm sitting here just talking to a phone or talking to a computer. Streaming is not physically challenging or demanding at all, but mentally, even not so much. I mean, I'm still just talking, but like I don't want to be inconsistent, and yet I am going to be. It's just a bummer. I don't know. I'll make a new video whenever I want to, I guess. And but meanwhile, thanks everyone for watching. Appreciate you all. And I'll see you guys in the next one.